Welcome back. Now, HIV has actually really been in the news a lot again lately with the revelation that Charlie Sheen is infected with the virus, but that only tells a part of the story.
What we don't hear are the real everyday struggles of dealing with it, and that's where a new book titled 20 Seconds tackles the subject. Author Robert Tremblay joins us to talk about it. Robert, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I know we were kind of chatting with you on commercial break, but you have quite an interesting history. So I was wondering if you could just kind of give us a little bit of your background and how it came to be that you wrote this book.
Well, I spent some time in the military, and then right from the military I went into law enforcement. I got out of law enforcement after 5 or 6 years. It's a tough job, as you ladies know from covering that. And I ended up involved in the investigative career and teaching banks, so it was a natural transition to start teaching nationally automobile dealers and marketing professionals and finance professionals.
And so, where did this portion of your life kind of come in? You were a very busy person, family man, busy with your career.
Yes, and that was one of the ironies of the book was, you know, I was 100 miles an hour with my hair on fire all the time, and, you know, it was always about what's next in your career or your life and taking those next challenges. But when I was sick and diagnosed, I was married. I lived a non-risk factor life according to the doctors, so the testing was caught so late that my first diagnosis was that of terminal at end-stage AIDS for a guy who just, no offense to the community, I had pushed that off as just not something I had to worry about, and I think a lot of us do that. After 20 years, you know, HIV has not really had a dent made in it. In fact, today you start talking about the fastest growing population of infections are women, ages 13 to 24, and 60% in the United States of those women don't know they're infected. This doesn't mean that the gay population is being ignored, but what's happening is this disease has evolved while we weren't paying attention. Or maybe we had paid attention or maybe just slipped it off into a corner that wasn't our responsibility. Maybe whatever's happening, it's important that we're talking about it. So I wrote the book with the understanding that it would take some courage to do it, but the conglomerate of people who came with me to lift me up, just like those who saved me, is really what brought this book to where it is in the top of Amazon, and so we're just thrilled.
That's right, top 1% of Amazon, so congratulations there. Lots of recognition for this book, really.
Really, yes. Actually, yesterday we just got invited to New York City to film a documentary with Morgan Freeman for the National Geographic Channel. So we do have some other TV things coming up. So it's really happened as a whirlwind, and it started with my near-death experience, which was something I just was really skeptical about, but I started writing about it, and the miraculous portion was what I was holding back, and my doctors encouraged it, and near-death experiences have a tradition of healing amazing things. But my story was a little different and took some humility, obviously, but I did all that without an immune system. So it defies what they understand, so they encouraged me to talk about that, and I think it's important.
Now, the title of the book is 20 Seconds.
Yeah.
Tell me, what does that signify?
Wow, a number of things. 20 Seconds was a concept that we felt during my journey of healing, that it was a collective of people who stood up, and some just gave 20 seconds. The difference you can make in somebody's day, a smile, a hello. It's also the amount of time it takes for oxytocin to go through your system after a hug. So there were all sorts of synchronicities with the 20 seconds that, including the book, that, you know, you don't have to spend money, you don't even have to buy the book. But if you could take 20 seconds of your time and share the story, and that's how it's become the cult following that it's become. It hasn't just been a book, it's a movement, and we're hoping that impact is enough to get some of the folks who've put it aside as not their responsibility into, it's just time to get tested. You know, if there's one thing we could do, that should be the focus.
Definitely.
And we can almost end this whole thing.
Well, it's a great title for a great book. We're just out of time. We're about to tell everybody about the events coming up, but really quick, tell us the collaboration of the different organizations.
Yes, we're collaborating with, obviously, Southern Arizona AIDS Foundation, SAFE. for this weekend. Tomorrow we're hosting an event at the JCC at 6:30. It's an interactive town hall dialogue where you can come talk about the things most people don't like to talk about in public, whether that's spirituality or psychic things or what's happened to this near-death experience community. And then, of course, we have the Barnes & Noble signing at 3 o'clock as well. But we really would like to invite folks down to help build this collaborative, one person at a time. Admission is free, donations are accepted, and all proceeds will go to benefit actually SAFE in your community for this week. So we're really tickled to give back.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking your own personal story and wanting to do more with it and to help others. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're going to reiterate, you can meet Robert at his book signing at Barnes & Noble on Broadway tomorrow at 3 p.m. Then at 6:30, he will be at the Interactive Town Hall Seminar at the Tucson JCC. For more details about his book, you can visit 20-seconds.net.